Hello again, we are back for another daily. Let's see here. Okay. Lazarus. Okay. Go. Tasty. Anyways, so I seen something yesterday about repentance. Some extra stuff. I should be like staying away from that because I keep spoiling myself for little things. And it looks very promising, so if you see this video now, like, at this point, it's going to be pretty obvious of what's going to be coming up. So me, I'm just partly clueless. Well, mostly clueless of what's going to be entailed for me for repentance. So it turns out, for one thing, it's coming out midnight on the 31st. And I don't know if that's midnight like Eastern time, midnight, Pacific Standard Time, Central Time, whatever time. So I'm assuming it could be more than likely Pacific Time. So yeah, it might be a little later across the east. That's fine. So like, I think the plan now is, now that I know when it's going to get released to some extent. Well, not to some extent. I have a general idea when it's going to get released. Assuming if it's Pacific Standard Time, then I would definitely know what time my time zone is going to have with unlocking the keys to the kingdom to go at it. Hopefully we can pre-install the game ahead of time for the release, so minimize any downloading stuff. I mean, it should be a pretty small file, I assume, but I also heard it's a pretty big game, so. And the changes look pretty nice. So like, I read some stuff about like the Lost is gonna get more of a boost with like, I think he gets an ability now to where like, there's no more like health pickups. Anymore in the run, which is like a substantial issue with the Lost, which was like just, health upgrade after health upgrade. It's like, I can't use this unless I have a way to respawn. And then I think Blue Baby's got something going on, and just stuff like that. I think the Keeper's got something going on too. Just little things. And then there's this thing called the Bag or something. And people are just like trying to figure out what that entails. Whether that's like a new type of boss, floor, item, I don't know. So yeah. Okay, so it's a nice, well, not nice. It's kind of a cool, cloudy Thursday morning. I had to think there for a second. So by the time you see this video, it comes out about a month after this recording. All the repentance stuff, of course, is all going to be coming out, the day of it gets recorded. I don't know, I think, because I was thinking about live streaming, but if my connection's kind of poor or something, I don't know. If it doesn't work out, then I'll just go straight to video and just uploading it. Straight to recording, pre-recording video, and then uploading it immediately. So yeah, there's that. Man, what else to talk about? Besides repentance, because like that's just, less than a week away now. 6 days. I wanna be sedated. 24 hours to go. I wanna be sedated. Nothing to do, no way to get home. I think that's the lyrics. I'm also like increased the volume just a wee bit too on here to see how that goes. It sounds fine so far. I might need a new mic, a better mic. I mean, this mic is fine. It's just pretty standard for these headphones. I might consider in the future getting a nicer mic, like a boomstick, or yeah, I think it's a boomstick, to kind of attach to, and then like I just have earphones and then a mic in front of me that I can adjust a little bit easier. Noise cancellation for any like, you know, weird background noises or whatever. I picked up some facial stuff yesterday for just whatever, I guess. And like vitamin E and vitamin A kind of stuff, and I guess it increases like the production of collagen on the face, the area of the face. And I was looking at some of the ingredients. It's like wild huckthorn or something like that. Just some weird stuff. Stuff I can't even pronounce. I have to speak like in tons or something to like at least half attempt to pronounce it. Summoning demons. Yeah. Man, what else? I was talking to some, I guess you could say it's a marketer. Well, she claims she's a marketer or social media campaign or something within those lines. But, she was, I just happened to talk to her, yesterday, telling me about her, kind of her business model and trying to get, like, new consumers to come in. And I told her, like, yeah, just like that morning, I saw a YouTube ad from that very company and I was gonna go to. It's like, yeah, we've been doing YouTube ads and stuff. And then I was like, okay, that's nice. I mean, so I'm kind of distracted here. What I meant to say was like, it's like, oh, that's cool. I figured that might be something's kind of happening, pushing more of a market. And they've been trying to like do a thing where they've been trying to get, you know, incentives to people to come in more and more to visit them and stuff and do whatever. And for some reason they wasn't like just coming in. Could be COVID reasons, could be just a number of different things. I had to do that because, like, why not? And I think that was a solid idea. As much as Dark Bum is pretty good, stuff like that, don't get me wrong. We've got Satanic Bible. We don't need him. We don't need his charity. And I was like, oh, can you, like, promote it to, like, the local college or something? She's like, oh, the local college hates us. They don't like what we're doing. It's like, huh. It's like, but then they let the military, like, be on campus and promote, like, you know, get in the military. And I kind of talked about it. It's like, it's interesting. It's like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the military or anything. It's just that, they're given more of an opportunity because of honor and, you know, of course, a bunch of other you know, related things. And sacrifice. But, I mean, the company's model, it seems like it's more of a beneficial thing. Because, like, other businesses, too, they go out and they do their own little promotional gig. Especially pizza places around town, too. And, you know, like Domino's and all them. But yeah, they don't allow this company that's it's much more substantially important than some cheap processed food. But whatever. I guess it appeals more to students with cheap processed food. I mean, it makes sense. It's cheap. It's food. It's edible. It's sometimes tasty. But no, I was like, okay. And then when I talked about the military, she's like, oh, military. I probably gave her an idea. I don't know, maybe the military can, like, promote it. Well, that's you know, that's, I mean, that's an idea. I mean, it's nothing like anything weird or anything as a business, like, model set up. It's just, based on how this business is, like, it would definitely kind of fit that kind of general thing going on, so to speak. I know I'm being very vague, but I'm just kind of protecting the business and stuff. A little bit. Nothing wrong with the business, it's just, you know, they're doing their thing. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Your life lies in ruin, huh? I mean, ain't that the truth? Lies in ruin. Well, I mean, it is in ruin because, like, yeah, because, just because, yeah. Because that's, like, in the past, man. Past is ruined. You know why it's ruined? Because you can't go back to it. You can't go back to the ruins unless you, you have a time-traveling machine. Or you think about it. But even think about that gets ruined. I'm blowing your mind. No, it's, now I listed, like, different things off. It's like, okay, how about, like, the newspapers and stuff. And it was like, we're doing that. It's like, okay, radio, doing that. Okay. And doing she was telling me they were doing Facebook ads. They stopped doing Twitter, which makes sense, because, like, everybody wants to argue on Twitter mostly. They want nothing to do with you. And, like, there's hardly any ads on Twitter. I mean, I haven't been on Twitter in a while, but, like, I've got so many ad blockers and stuff on there, but I do occasionally check out a tweet. Not be riddled with, like, just spam. I mean, good on them, they're closing Twitter, because, like, it's just, I mean, it's probably a little bit more toxic than Facebook. They're both toxic, because they're both social media. Everybody's fighting. When I was on Facebook, like, man, I mean, you've probably seen it too, of course. There's this huge, like, dilemma with people, like, you know, fighting, and that happens a lot, of course, on social media. And they get a power trip too on these groups and stuff, and they start making all these draconian rules, and they try to censor you. Ironically, I mean, Facebook does the same thing, but and Twitter and all of them, but even your memes too. They're coming for your memes. But when I was on Facebook, like especially with groups with my town, I would see a lot of like people trying to like tell their people, oh, this is against the rules, or tag an admin, or tell about a local eatery they're not satisfied with, and they take a picture of it and they spread it on social media with a long paragraph that's mostly riddled with like grammatical errors and expect a free handout. And they keep doing it instead of like not going back to the establishments and not posting drama. I mean, it's just a whole weird thing. I'm not gonna go into it, but let's just say it's just like these people are nuts, and you get a bunch of nutty people together, like you create a group. I mean, given that like not everybody in the group is nuts, it's just you got like enough of them where they just kind of collectively like hide in the shadows until it's time to come out. It's like a vampire, you know. Oh, it's nighttime. Time to stir up some stuff. Of course, this is coming from a town that's mostly like old folks. That's the population, and poor people, super poor, and they. There's nothing wrong with poor people. It's just that's the demographic down there in my hometown. Not all of them are. And so like for the food restaurants, that's if someone's like, when they make those kind of posts, it's someone that's more lines of like, don't want to cook, period. They're just angry with life and themselves and stuff, and they just want to take it out on something or someone or an establishment, you know? They're not thinking clearly, of course. That's unfortunate, really. Hopefully they get out of that rut. But anyways, sorry we're trailing off a bit about with social media. So like, yeah, she was talking about different campaigns, because it was like after I was helping her with handing a poster up, that she couldn't really like get up too high with placing it, so oh, why not? I got nothing else to do. It's COVID. Yeah, and so yeah, her job is like social media stuff and everything, and she's been trying to come up with different ways to like get new consumers to come in and, you know, be involved with their services and goods and stuff. But like, she's been trying to find different initiatives to like bring them in, different specials and stuff like that. But then it's like she can't seem to get across to these students. And well, it's students. It's just anybody in general, really. And she was telling me is like she has to rely literally like word of mouth. And oh, I understand. Like, I've done some promotional stuff at a community college, and it's kind of tough because, like, not only at a community college, it's much smaller like function compared to say like a university or something, or whatever, or a larger college. I can understand that, but then it's also like trying to find different like ways to promote something to certain audience, so that way they can see it, they know it, and you know, whatever. We ran into challenges with that back then, with trying to get stuff promoted and getting people to come, and we're trying different things. So like I was in a couple of clubs, and I was helping a lot. Well, I'm not gonna gloat or boast or anything. I did help quite a bit in the process, and others did their share too. And anyways, what was happening was, so we had this little gig of like a movie with pizza and stuff like that, and the whole goal with that was to promote it not only as a public event exclusively for students, but it was also a way to try to like, bring in new members. That was pretty much like the whole second goal, was actually bringing more people into the group. I think out of like, what was it, 10, maybe 50, well, I don't know, it was even 10. Let's say between 5 and 10 people or something like that. It's a pretty small college. And between 5 and 10 of them, like, I think only one joined. I guess that's pretty significant with those numbers standards, but to me it's like, I wish we could do better, but we do what we can. And then we didn't really do as much of that anymore in the future because, you look at the cost of like time with setting up a film and stuff, renting a film, which back then, of course, renting a film wasn't that of an issue. The issue was like occupying people's time to get things set up for the event, and then like, look at all these rocks. Jesus Christ, Marie, they're minerals. Sorry. Anyways, sorry. I just had to say that. So that was a dilemma. And we also had to find a way that would like work out for like students' time out of class or whatever. That gets real tricky because everything's kind of jammed together. There ain't too many opportunities to like, have certain classes to like do in different times or whatever. Especially with teachers you want versus the teachers you don't want. You hear that around the school about like, oh, avoid her like the plague. Oh, he sucks. Oh, he's good, And I got quite a bit of feedback from students over the years of who to avoid and who to go with. That helped. Of course, university, like, not so much. Because there's less community, it's much smaller. Oh, yeah, pretty much like less community if you think about it, because it's a much larger school, and they want less to do with you. Yeah, and so that was an issue back then with us, because back then we didn't even do social media. I mean, we could have, but I forgot what it. I think it's because we couldn't do it because, like, personally, because of some kind of like bylaws in the student board or something like that. But it didn't stop for other clubs from doing it, and nobody really put the stop of it because nobody cared about the bylaws of student board. Honestly, they make more stuff, regulations to, do whatever on the community college, and they usually ignore it. I've seen that a lot, and that it probably happens at other places too. I've seen quite a bit with that student board, but that would be probably another topic for another video. See, now I'm just coming up with topics now, just on the fly. That's cool. Cool beans. And what else? So I kind of understand her frustration with trying to get new people to come in and stuff to her well, to their establishment. It's not hers. She's just a social media marketer, and yeah, it's just, what can you do, you know? I don't think it's a COVID thing so much. I think it's more in the lines of, see, this business was originally owned by a different company that was a little bit more stingy, and they owned it for quite a while until I guess they sold it out to another company, which the other company is actually much more reasonable with their consumers. And maybe there was just so much word of mouth that maybe it was more in the sense of a negative kind of form of it. Because it just got recently acquired, like, middle of last year, so not even a year. And, you know, stuff of that nature. This room's kind of nasty a little bit. And that might hold some negative sentiments with these students. I mean, and it's like not just students, but like just, you know, community in general. Mostly geared for students and stuff because of like they're younger, you know, they fed a decent demographic of individuals, you know, stuff like that. Is what I mean in that sense. I mean, we got plenty of keys. We'll just take this with us. Well, the trick is like trying to like get them to either come back or to like be new customers. And you're working with a new generation of students. So like this girl and I was talking, and I think we're about the same generation. And there's this kind of a generation gap. You know, Gen Zs that they have a different way of understanding and perceiving and interacting in the environment of stuff. Because, like, keep in mind, like, Gen Zs, there aren't as many of them that never lived with, like, having internet or even high-speed internet compared to, like, other generations that, well, except, you know, Generation Alpha now they're out there. Hello, Generation Alpha. It's gonna be kind of awkward when they call it Generation Beta for the next one. They're like, I'm Alpha, you Beta. No. I think the whole generation, like, naming thing and, you know, time ranges and stuff is kind of kooky. Like, how does that benefit me? I mean, I guess the only thing that'll benefit, and I'm talking about them, is give me a generalized, like, age range at this point in this this timeline when I'm, you know, whatever. You know what I mean. The timestamp for these people's lives. I don't know. Darn kids. Where's my silent generation at? Represent. No. Okay. Only 1890s kids would remember this. Yeah, it's a challenge for sure. Like, I was trying to think too, you know, as I was talking with her, is like maybe Snapchat, but then it's like Snapchat doesn't have really much for advertisements unless you like kind of scroll to the newsfeed stories. You could probably do something like that, but then you're reaching more of a national audience, I think. and there's no way to like just target strictly local. I think. Not on top of my noggin with it, but you know, I mean, I'm also not a social media marketer, so if you're asking for advice from me of how to like promote stuff, well, I know very little. I mean, they got their own website and stuff, and of course, so I mean that's something. Got these little coupon books too. They've been putting it in. They've been putting in other kind of like magazines and stuff. It's just, of course, you're seeing also too a trend of paperless stuff. So it's like, even though you got papered products, there's been less and less of an inkling to like, you know, consume like newspapers and stuff. Like for me, I don't buy my local. I haven't bought my local newspaper in like, I got subscription like about 10 years or something like that. No, even more than that. I bought a brief subscription is what happened, and then because their site was kind of not very up to par with functionality and stuff, but it was mostly just digital. And it's like, okay, now how do we get across to these, you know, these people if they're, you know, using digital platforms? Obviously, like the younger folk, get these words out of my mouth. Of course, these younger folks, of course, including myself. I don't know what that was, but anyways, even younger folks like myself. Of course, I'm not using it as much. Snapchat is a big thing. And TikTok. I mean, there's an idea. Using TikTok to, like, promote your local business somehow. You just gotta find a way to, like, be kooky and weird and stuff. I mean, like, my sister's, like, really into it. Not in the means of recording, but in the means of just, like, constantly sharing stuff with me. It's like, hey, check this out, it's funnies. It's funnies. And I'm like, it's like a four-year-old would laugh too, not me. I don't know, I tried getting into it. It's just like people making, you know, funny noises or something. It's just like, I mean, you got some arts and crafts stuff and dancing and all that. It's just like, perhaps I'm the wrong generation for this. I mean, you got boomers and stuff getting in there. Here I am referencing another generation. Hello, boomers. If you're watching this, hello. I'm not against boomers. They're just another generation, you know? Just like Gen Zs and Generation Alphas, Betas, Charlies, Deltas, Echoes. I don't even know what F is. F in the chat. Going back with like community college, I was thinking too. So we actually had our own social media marketer, but that was only for like all the events, and it was just one. And he was promoting all these clubs events, and then like the general student board stuff, like student board events. And he was doing all that work. And I did help him a little bit with like doing a couple of videos. And I had to kind of fix them up, change them, shorten them, and all that stuff to make it more appealing, which makes sense, of course. and it was an okay experience. I kind of liked it. The website though was hot garbage. I guess it's better now, but back then it was just like for fighting clubs and stuff like that. There's no specific section. I mean, it kind of is, but then it's like so tucked away. It's like you wonder like why bother putting in a section, even with student board stuff. Oh yeah, here's everybody in student board and stuff, and it's not updated. Just stuff like that. I actually made an app for my community college. I didn't tell the community college, I just did it. Alright, they didn't ask me for permission either. I winged it. So what I did was, okay, so I used a program to make an app, I guess, technically. Not a great one. Great app. But it was an app. And of course, Google took it down because I guess, well, I mean, it wasn't flagged. It was like something else was happening. I don't know. I think just cleaning up like apps that were just probably too old or something. And anyways, what was happening was with this app, I mean, I would use the RSS feeds that I find on the website. I even try to get the teacher administration like absentee list to try to work, but it wasn't for some reason, which was unfortunate because that was like one of the main like gimmicks for students to keep going back to the site, besides like checking their homework and emails, is to see who's not there so they don't waste their time coming to the school. And I utilize that like every day. I mean, it kind of worked, the app, but it just kind of like whatever. You know, one thing I forgot to say to the marketing lady, of an idea is sponsorship stuff. I just realized like hours after I left, it's like, oh yeah, like sponsorships. I mean, if they got money, if they got the money, so you don't necessarily need to, depending on the event, of course. Like, I was on a board year before, it's long before COVID, and we were looking for sponsors, and we had different types of sponsors too, because of the event. And the thing about it was, we researched into the businesses around the area, usually the local area on the most part, and then it was mostly me that was doing the work, because, anyways, so I compiled a list together of different businesses around town, and then I put in an Excel sheet, so it's like all their contact information, address, and stuff like that, in case like, social media and websites and stuff. Just different ways to get a hold of them in case phone numbers are not working or busy or off hours. And we contact them. We have a pre-written message set up for certain ones. So if we want to, let's say, ask them for this because of this type of business, we got a certain like copy pasta, not copy pasta, a pre-written script to say, and kind of like with telemarketers. And we just ask them later on, like, you know, this and that. And they don't have to give much. They can give a lot or a little. But then, like, many of those local businesses would do that because, you know, give a little bit of a resource or whatever, or a prize or whatever, depending on the occasion of the event, what kind of an event. And they get themselves into a sponsorship to where their business and stuff like that would you know, I might just go in today and just let her know about this. And then recommend her a book that I read last year before COVID happened. It was talking about sponsorships, mostly like sports and event sponsorships. Mostly sports. But I might give her some kind of a general idea about the importance of sponsorships and promoting your business platform. And so, like, our gig is, if you sponsor, then we'll put your logo and your business and stuff like that information, like on promotional posters, social media, whatever, and stuff like that. And then that way, when people, you know, see the stuff kind of going on as time goes on, closer to an event or something, then their business is gonna, like, get more attention, so to speak. And I know just of an event, which just so happens to be the event that I was part of a committee that would be ripe for the picking. And it's actually, right now, they're actually getting stuff kind of set up for that. And I think that might be her best bet with getting it across to people. We're taking Mom's knife because it's it's nicer. Yeah, I might just do that later. Or maybe I could just call her because yeah, I have to make, like, whatever stuff I gotta do anyways. I can't really go down there. I'm gonna just call her after this video. If I could reach her and be like, hey, I had an idea. If she's there. If not, like, just pass the message along to her. Be like, yeah, I just thought of something after I left. That might be of interest to you. See, that's kind of cool how, like, you know, these kind of, like, videos like this that I do, it's like I come up with more stuff and then, like, solutions to things that I haven't previously, like, thought about. Like, you know, you're remembering stuff that I almost forgot, and it just kind of comes back to me, stirring up the old brain matter. I think my brain's a little bit more wrinkly after this. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. I'm not too worried about damage here. It's pretty much in the bag. That would have been awkward if I used Suicide Cane. Why Why did I do this? I don't know. One, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Gold. Tasty trinkets. Get on my fiends. Get 'em, boys. Oh, wow, he got yeeted. Goodbye. Have a good time. Okay. Where's our score? We probably didn't do so hot, but you know. It was 649, yeah. And then 1412 for those speed runners. Well, that was a pretty interesting run, I guess. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.